had to do. So, they pull out the blood pressure cuff, they take my pulse, they check me out, they ask me a couple of questions, they pull out this form, and I was like, I'm so sorry to have scared you guys like this, and my wife's like, she's like, oh my gosh, no, she's okay, she's an ICU nurse. Well, hello there, my good people from YouTube. It's Bridget back again from It's Your Time channel, and I'm back this episode to finish up the vacation. I have saved a little clip of the aftermath of what actually happened, so you guys could see in real time the actual episode of the outfalling. Was it the outfalling? Is that what I'm trying to say? The fallout. As you guys know, it was an 11-day Japan cruise, and we were out and about most of the day. So we got off and we did excursions, and pretty long excursions, like 6, 7, 8 hours. And then we would come back and we would usually be booked for dinner, and we would get dressed up and go to dinner. And that's what we normally do on our vacations. We go to the shows, whether it be at a resort or on the cruise. We do like all day laying around the pool and all that, and then we get dressed up and go to dinner and a show, or dinner and comedy, or dinner and a movie on the deck, or whatever it was. So this particular night, on the 16th of April 2026, we made a reservation at the Crown Grill on the Princess Diamond. So I had these nice 3-inch stiletto heels on, beautiful bodycon dress, the lightest of makeup, but everything perfect and ready to eat. We sit down, we order, and I'm like, of course they have everything that you can imagine at all the different restaurants on the ship, but this particular one was a steakhouse. So steak and beef, and they had some seafood, but I ordered the, was it rack of lamb. We were sitting next to this couple, and we're waiting. We have a glass of wine, we have a little piece of bread, and we're talking. And there's two couples, one on one side, one on the other. The other couple on the right hand side. The funniest thing, they must have been like on not a first date, but like a get to know you kind of date. And I've actually heard of this happening before. People go on cruises and they spend the time together to get to know each other. They may not stay in the same stateroom, but they use the cruise as a backdrop for all the social events, and to see how it is to have dinner, wake up together, do things. So he was talking to this lady about this date he had been on, and it wasn't like a married couple, like a couple had been together for a long time, because she was perturbed. She was perturbed, and she was like she had enough. She didn't want to hear any more of this, and he just kept digging himself in deeper. But we're taking in all the things. This couple over here, you could tell they had been together for some years, and they were just enjoying dinner. So I get my my lamb, and I'm like, oh, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it's a little pink, right? A little pinker than I would have thought would have been for a medium well, but I do like medium too. So I was like, okay. So I began to cut it, and sipped around the other parts of the plate to see what else was there, the vegetables and the potato bedding that was, it was on a bed of like mashed potatoes. And so I'm talking, and we're just chatting it up, and so I put in a bite of meat, and it was chewy. It was chewy, but I was like, "Ooh, okay, this is going to take a little while to chew." And I had a tooth pulled on this side some years ago and that's a whole nother saga that we could go into. But I ended up trying to get my teeth straightened before getting the implant. So I have been getting my teeth straightened for the last 4 years, finally out of the braces and all that now. But I still have this spot because I'm waiting to get the implant put in, because first you have to get the post, then you have to wait, 6 months, and then they put on the crown, or somewhere thereabouts, right here in the US. That's how they do it. So I'm chewing, and I'm like, okay. It's a little bit of a task, but I was like, all right. So then I'm getting into it. I put a little bit of salt. They bring in, like, they have 4 or 5 different salts: a Hawaiian black salt, a Mediterranean salt, and a sea salt, a pink sea salt. And so I sprinkled a little bit, and that just took it right where it needed to be, right? So I get the second bite, and I'm chewing it and chewing it and chewing it, and it's like I'm like, what's happening? But I'm like, all right, I've chewed it enough. This should be able to go down. And I went to swallow it, and when I went to swallow it, it got lodged. And the ICU nurse on a ship who saves people every day, I was choking. So I remember my training. My wife and I actually have done this at home. I taught her how to do CPR. This is what you do, if something ever happens when you're out, we've practiced, get behind, make the fist, get right underneath the ribs, right where they meet, and the thrust, what you have to do. And I've demonstrated the thrust on her a couple of times so that she would know how deep she needs to go in order to do that. Because even, sometimes, even if you do it, sometimes the clog, whatever there is that's in the airway, sometimes it's really, really deeply in, and the stand-up thrust won't allow you to do it. There's also a way that you can throw yourself over the back of a chair and bring your upper body over the chair and thrust yourself if you're by yourself if this happens. So we've gone through this whole thing. And so when I looked at her, the gentleman on the left-hand side of me was like, she's choking, and she was like, oh my gosh, are you choking? And I'm like, yeah. So I stand up because I know I got to stand up for her in order for her to get around me. So I stand up and I move to the side so she can come around me and get a hold of me, right? And so she did a great job. My God, she did a great job. She got under there, but she was kind of timid because she was like, I don't know, am I going to hurt her? What's going on? She was scared. She didn't know what to do, but she did not hesitate, not for 1 second. She did not hesitate. She got right up. She started doing it, and she was doing the thrusts, but they weren't powerful enough. The meat was so moist and sticky that it would not come out. It was stuck down there. And so she did, I think, about three, if I have to remember, like three or four thrusts, and she asked me, is it out? And I said, no. And I shook my head, no, because of course, at this point, you really know someone's choking when they can't pass air, when they can't talk anymore, they're really choking. So she goes, so I put her hands on me, and I made her, and I pushed her hands to tell her to do it harder, to do it more, because I felt it move a little bit, but only a little bit. It didn't get loose in order for us to be able to get it out. So she gave the last, like, 2, 3, I was between 2 and 4 thrusts, and I felt it in the back of my throat, but she still hadn't gotten it up. So I went in, and everybody knows CPR, they will tell you after, if a baby or a child, that you can look in and see if you see the object and you can sweep it out. So I went in myself because I could feel it at the back of my throat. I went in and I grabbed it and scraped the back of my mouth, the back of my throat, and pulled it out. And I threw it on the floor, right? So the guy next to us he's like, okay. He said, it's out. And she was like, oh my gosh, is it okay? Are you okay? And immediately I was able to breathe, immediately. And I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I was so grateful to get air, because in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh my God, if she doesn't do this right the next time, I'm gonna have to grab the chair, because the chair is right next to me. I have to grab the chair. I'm going to have to do it really hard, because I know I need to do it hard, because I can feel where it is, and I know how powerful you need to do it. And I'm thinking I have to do that. And I'm like, if that doesn't work, if I go down, I don't have any way to remind her to do the sweep. Check the mouth, check the back of the throat, and do the sweep. Pull it out if you can see it. So this is all happening in probably, I would say, maybe 20 seconds. And I'm like, I'm planning, okay, if I do pass out, what's gonna happen? I didn't know if anybody else was around. I just saw the 2 couples, and I knew that there were people around, and I heard a little bit of some rustling behind me, but once I was able to breathe again, I sat down. She was like, are you okay? And the waiter came over, and they're like, oh my gosh, what do you need? Are you all right? Do you want it? And I was like, no, I don't want anything else to eat. I was like, just take it away. Just take the plate away. I didn't even know if I could drink water, because my throat and airway hurt so bad. And you guys, excuse Reese. She's always in something. She can't stand for me to be doing anything without her. But I was sitting down there, and you can see, I saved the clip, you'll see my face is swollen. My eyes are puffy. I look like I have been through something, and I was just astounded, but I was so flippin' grateful. I was like, my God, that could have been me out unconscious on the floor, hoping that someone could revive me. As I sat down, I'd say maybe 2 minutes later, nervous laughter came, and we were laughing because I was laughing mostly at my honey because she was so scared, and she's kind of a nervous kind of person, especially around like medical stuff. And she was so scared. So I was trying to, say like, I'm okay. And I was okay because I was breathing. I was okay, but I was sore and my heart was racing. And, I was like, I didn't know if I should swallow something. I didn't know what to do really because I'm trying to get it all together in my mind, right? Within 2 minutes, the nurses from the ship come. They have their tackle box, right? They rush in on the side of me, and they were like, "Are you the lady?" Because they were like, somebody's supposed to be choking, and I was, I sat in the chair. Everything was all good. We're laughing and we're talking, and I was like, yeah, it was me. I was like, I'm so sorry. And then I was like, oh my gosh, because they looked so scared, and they looked like they were rushed and like sweaty. It was like, I was like, oh my goodness, where is your office? Where are you guys coming from? And they were like midship on the fourth floor, right? So we were on the 7th floor, on the aft portion of the ship, towards the end. So they did have some trucking they had to do. So, they pull out the blood pressure cuff, they take my pulse, they check me out, they ask me a couple of questions, they pull out this form, and I was like, I'm so sorry to have scared you guys like this, and my wife's like, she's like, oh my gosh, no, she's okay, she's an ICU nurse. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm an ICU nurse, but I just was choking. I was just choking. So these nurses are doing their job. They're trying to check me out. But she was trying to save me from having to go through like whatever formalities that there were to, triaging a person at the end of an incident, right? And I was so grateful, my God, to see them. And, I'm part of the code team. I'm part of the action team at my job. So I go and rush to people too, whether it be pre-code or when they're in the code. So I know what that adrenaline is, and I know what that like tunnel vision is, how you're looking, and it's about you and that patient and what has to go on and what you can see. And you're starting to tick away at what needs to be done. And I was just like, oh my goodness, my Lord, because we practiced at home, because we were prepared. Just a little bit of time, just one day, one afternoon, we were together, and we took about 15-20 minutes to practice and show her what it is to do CPR. And she's had like a CPR course at work, but I was trying to show her the in-depth portion and what it's like to do it on a real person, and to kind of check her skills, because it could happen anywhere. It can happen when you're at work, in the cafeteria. It can happen when you're on your, in your workrooms, in the office. It can happen anywhere. I tell you, when it's not your time to go, it will not be your time. It will not. As I found out later, there were people that would have rallied around behind her because they were ready to jump in case something happened, because I guess they knew what to do and how to do it as well. The angels that were encamped around me, can I tell you, over a piece of a lamb chop. Me being the foodie I am, I want to make sure I'm, the best of the best. I want this, and I want it rare, and I was so excited to sit down and have this meal that somebody prepared me and brought it out. But again, it can happen anytime. Being prepared is everything. Remind yourself when you're someplace that you have never been before. Look for the exits. Don't get paranoid about it, but look for what you need if something were to happen. How many floors up are you? You're in an elevator, but where's the staircase when you're there? When I got on the boat, I looked up and I saw the lifeboats. Ever since the Titanic, people are a lot more prepared in the sense of how many lifeboats are on a ship, what they look like. Now they're covered. They're like little miniature submarines, they're encased. So that tragedy doesn't happen again. But I can't tell you how grateful. I can't tell you how grateful I am to be sitting here talking to you guys again after all of that. Make sure you accommodate too, Todd. After the... Am I supposed to comment? It was how many thrusts? 4?
Shoot, I don't know. I wasn't counting.
At least four. Right.
There was like 2 or 3 a pause, and then maybe 2 or 3 more.
Okay.
Yeah.
99.64. Good. 99.64. Yeah. Scared everybody. Feel so bad.
And that's what kicked it out. Because I couldn't see, so I was waiting for her to tell me that it was okay. And she's always taught me that if they can't talk, then they can't drink. So keep going. Where are you?
It was a beautiful trip. It was a beautiful trip. And even telling you this now, it did not ruin the trip. It actually, as I think about it now, it made it even the better, because I made it to it and I made it through it. And I have that little piece in my arsenal of, if I got to chew 50 times, I'm going to chew 50 times and make sure it's well chewed before I swallow. I know that I've done that before with things. I'm like, oh, is it okay? Like you swallow a big bite of food and you're like, oh, maybe I should have chewed that a little bit more. Yep. You should chew it a little bit more. So I'm hoping that helps somebody. This is the bridge to our nursing videos, and I will be able to show you guys a little bit about how to do CPR on an actual person, maybe a person. I don't know, maybe I'll get a person. I'm not sure if I'll do the person, but I'll definitely have a doll dummy so I can show you guys how to do it, because it is so, so important. Again, don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't stop being adventurous. Don't stop living your life, because it's your time. Make a decision. Make yourself the priority. No one else is going to do it. If this video has helped you, or it will help someone that you know, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.